You're only mortal here today, but that's not what the say. Strive for out as we pray to push our fears all away. Only mortal here today, but that's not what the say. Strive for out as we pray to push our fears all away. Wait one more time, take it to the grave, sacrifice. I can't help myself, it's the part of me I despise. We can solve it with a smile. One more time, take it to the grave, sacrifice. I can't help myself, it's the part of me I despise. We can solve it with a smile. Uncertainties in my mind make it harder to find lessons in the rewind. Nothing without insight. Only mortal
With me, Gabby, who's the producer, and Scott, who's co-director, and we just sat down and we were like, we're making a film, kind of need a story.
The story came from Ben and I sitting in a cafe going, what the hell do we do? And then we sat there for 4 hours and wrote it.
For the script, we kind of, we tried not to be influenced really, didn't we, too much by anything else, really.
Really?
I think so.
You did then, I didn't.
A lot of the older films, Day of the Dead and things like that, they're just cool. But I think the real key thing for me is having the speed with your zombies, having them fast and vicious, and I think that's kind of really important when you're making a modern zombie film.
I kept going on about The Descent like all the time.
You still do?
I still do, I talk about The Descent all the time. I think I may have mentioned an Inspector Calls at some point, just because the idea of it being like a character study within that, and the fact that most kind of really, really good horror films are kind of set, you just kind of have something going on apart from the fact that there's other going on, if you know what I mean. So like the zombies are just something that kind of extremifies the situation, whereas the situation that's actually in there is pretty much horrific enough, if you know what I mean.
The zombies were never really the focus of the situational story at all, really.
No.
Funding is primarily down to our Gabby.
You did a sterling job of getting us the main bulk of our funding to begin with.
That was through Mr. Peter Holt on, I met him on Twitter, and his handle was I work for Bristol City Council and I love zombies.
They had a chat, he seemed to think it was a bloody good idea and put up some cash for us.
And then we decided to match it.
Yeah, we tried to match it in dollars.
Number for number kind of thing, yeah.
Through a website called Indiegogo. And I went ahead and started up the campaign, and then it went better than we could have ever hoped, really.
We had a phenomenal response to that, so thank you for everybody that donated. That was really cool.
I think we made nearly half of our money in the first sort of 3 days of the month that we ran the campaign for. And we were thinking we weren't going to make it at one point, I think. Yeah, and we got about over halfway through and thought.
And then Paul got involved, and basically, Paul kind of finally emailed all his people.
I helped sort of push the Indiegogo page, and used some of my social networks, LinkedIn and others, to try and raise the money. I used my media connections, so I got lots of free kit from Films of 59 and various other organisations and bodies I've got links with, just really trying to pull in as many favours as I could.
Yeah, and we got it, which was surprising. But I don't think they realise that they're going to have to do it all again when we do another film.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to, yeah, one time I'll give you a £5. It's like, no, every time for the rest of my life. But yeah, there you go.
We were shooting on Canon DSLRs, mostly handheld for speed really. We had to shoot very fast, it was very run and gun on set a lot of the time. Yeah, shooting lighting wise, we tried to be as minimal as possible, partly for budget, partly because of the feel that I wanted to give the film and that Chip, our lighting director, wanted as well. So.
And kind of Paul helps out on that as well because he managed to get
Lovely people at Films at 59.
Films at 59 gave us some lovely equipment, which was really nice of them. And yeah, that kind of, we wouldn't have been able to do it as well without them.
Definitely not. No. I mean, in fact, we weren't expecting the light kit that they gave us.
Yeah. It was
and
really
I think
good.
if we hadn't had that, we'd have
Not had any light.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been a really, really dark film.
Just a torch on someone's face. It would have been, yeah, different.
The cast had been involved for quite a long time, really, hadn't they? Before
We cast it.
Yeah, before we cast it, really.
Yeah, they were kind of guys that were interested in the project, and then we kind of, they expressed an interest, and then we basically put them where they were put with the characters. And to be honest, because of the fact that we were already on the project, we kind of wrote it a little bit with them in mind.
Yeah, I think that really helped in places.
Especially like Ben Shockley.
Yeah, Ben Shockley, he played a character called Stu, who is, we'll call it a little unhinged. Depends whether you've seen this before or after you've watched the film.
Nathan as Nick, it was just perfect. It really worked.
Yeah, very committed bloke, lovely guy. Works really hard, and bless him, he did get very, very wet. Then you got Maya, who's just quiet, because that's what her role entailed, but she's not quiet in real life. She's very bouncy and alive. Callum, very responsive and just sort of played his character really well with a lot of subtle nuances and sort of little things in his performance that just really bring it up to that next level. Then you've got Ed, who's played by Luke, fantastic guy. He did a fantastic job, and a lot of you sort of connect with him a lot. And then there's Gabby as well, who has very emotive eyes. Good job, 10 points. I think overall the cast were fantastic, and they really, really helped make the film what it was. Zombie Horde Day. It was day 3 of filming. By that point we were absolutely destroyed. But yeah, they were fantastic. It's 19 of them in total turned up on the day. They were all really, really up for it. They did a fantastic job sitting around in their makeup reading books. It made quite a good sight, to be fair. And yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a slow start to the day because of all the makeup that we had to get done, but when it was time to roll, they all just put their heart and soul into it, and it looks fantastic, so can't thank them enough for that. The makeup team were fantastic.
They freaking made it.
Yeah, I mean, they
I
did
think-
make it.
Imagine if we'd have done the film with like,
Us trying to do the
yeah,
which is what it would have been.
basically the production value of the film is just like skyrocketed because of the
Definitely,
fact that we had Janie and Paul on board and all their kind of like
Yeah.
Amanda and Georgia and all these people. They were just so amazing.
There were a bunch of really awesome people. There's Paul Hodder, who was absolutely like kick-ass at making like the craziest like zombie stuff and like massive neck wounds, and I just met him from like the zombie viral we did, and yeah, just met him then, got to know him, it was really cool. And the other girls that I had with me, Ben got a hold of Rachel, she was lovely and she was really nice, and then the other girls were from my makeup course that I studied, that was Emma Chapman and Amanda and Georgia and Charlie, and they were really lovely and they were really cool to work with, and it was really nice to have that group because we just all got on so well, so it was great.
They did a fantastic job. I mean, you just look at them, look at the work, look at some of the stuff they've done, and it's unbelievable. I mean, Janie ran it all, and she did a fantastic job. I mean, she hasn't done a big thing like that before, and she's totally on it, totally, you know, dedicated. She just kept going with it, and the results speak for themselves.
Well, basically we have rubber prosthetics. That's what we used for the film, and I think they were rubber. And it was just you'd stick them onto the skin with like basic like skin adhesive glue, and just colour it in, blend it, and just add blood and stuff. And it's just like when we did the horde scene, we had to fill up the mill with loads of people being zombie extras, and just like had to prepare everything ready, and just like have loads of separate wounds, have glue on them prepared, and then like me and another person doing like the colouring, and another person doing the blending, and another person doing the hair and the costume and stuff like that. So it was just kind of like, it was all really a teamwork effort as well, because some of us specialise in certain things in the group. So like Paul was like amazing at putting on prosthetics, and like Emma was really good at colouring, so was like Amanda and Georgia, like everyone was really good at what they did. So it was, we all kind of worked together on it, which was really nice.
I mean, we thought months ago, oh great, it's first week in June, it's going to be nice, and it's going to be, the problem is keeping people away and making sure we get what we want to do. But of course, this summer was a washout, as we all know, and that particular week started bad. It was wet, it was muddy.
Yeah, I think my favourite thing about the shoot was mud.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay. Well, it's
I'm
quite,
lying.
okay.
The mud was horrible.
It's-
It was the worst
It's
thing.
quite atmospheric.
It was raining like I've never seen rain before. Jurassic Park rain. We had Jurassic Park rain. Everybody was wet. Everybody was cold.
Mud, and mud. Yeah.
But just to prepare the set, we came in early and just had to pick up mud and take it out, which we spent all day doing.
Right, but it was. I think it's become like a character in the film. The mud on its own has like become like, you know, a real, you know, because it basically symbolises, you know, the fact the quagmire that society is in.
It started off, it was, oh god, this is bad, and this is getting worse.
So much mud. I've never seen so much mud. You know, and we live in England, and I've never seen so much mud.
And then I think by about Wednesday, it was so wet and so muddy, then hysteria took over and actually became funny.
It was great, splashing about and running about and like getting wellies and stuff. It was brilliant.
We weren't making Mary Poppins, we were making a zombie horror film, you know. So really, at the end of the day, it was perfect. And looking at the rushes now, you know, the rain and the misery and the grime, you know, it was great. You've got to suffer for your art at the end of the day, haven't you? Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, as with any shoot, we had many problems. Audio was one of them. Yeah, our recorder kept cutting out in really inconvenient times.
That's just batteries.
It was just batteries
And that's
mainly,
not know kind of
and
how it
then
works a bit.
for some reason the memory card could only hold 200 files,
Yeah,
and we had no way of uploading the card
Yeah.
on site.
And this kind of stuff always happened at like really crucial
It
moments.
did.
Which
We
is,
thought
you
it
know,
was- I think when it stopped having any space in the card, we thought that this is the end of the shoot. But Chip, our lighting
I know.
director, pulled through and remembered that our BTS camera had XLR inputs, so we recorded sound through that, and
I think there were loads of moments
life
like
was
that.
saved.
There were loads of moments like that I remember where you kind of just think, just keep quiet for a minute, and something will happen
Yeah.
to save this. And it's
Will-
just like literally
will
like,
sort itself out.
kind of something just happened and we'll save it. It was just really, the team we had was so blooming amazing, and everybody was just so dedicated to it that everybody would think outside the box to solve any problem that we had. There was nobody that was sitting there going, oh, I don't know, I don't care.
I mean, everybody that was involved, they're all just fantastic human beings, and I feel very lucky to have worked with them, and to know them, and be friends with them.
Should we thank people?
Everyone?
Yeah, I mean,
Want to
we
thank
do just need to thank everyone, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's also people that kind of we need to remember for the credits and stuff. Like, kind of, you know, I this is something for me as well. Like the fact that like my family business and stuff lent us the cars, lent us the storage space, and all that kind of stuff. We had to put everything back in the garage every kind of
So
night,
much
and
went on sort of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They were never on set, and they've never
Yeah.
really been involved directly in the film.
Yeah.
But I know my family and your family.
yeah.
I'm sure other people's families as well. Have sort
My
of-
dad was a security guard. That was
fantastic
fun.
security.
He was good. He was quite burly. So no, and yeah. I mean, basically, there's so many people that we want to thank.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that was on set. You know, you all did a fantastic job. And we could not have done it without you. You guys are fantastic. I mean, they made it what it is. And it's a fantastic experience. And I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you.
Well, we want to get this edited and finished. I mean, looking at the rushes and they're looking great. So by the time this is edited and cut, obviously everyone will judge for themselves.
Yeah, we're cracking on with the edit. The sound's got to go on, the Foley's got to go on. Looking forward to hearing the score from Tom. That's going to be amazing. Just listening to the stuff he's done for the trailer already, it's phenomenal. So I guess that's another thank you, man. And then once that's all done, I suppose it's our time.
What's next? That's a big question. Let's finish this film
Some
first.
sleep, yeah. Maybe some spare time.
Too much spare time.
No.
Lives.
Some, yeah. Yeah, a bit of a break, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next. But we've got a lot of things.
There's other films in the works.
There's a lot of things that we need.
There will be more.
Yeah.
This is not it.
We've got a lot of kind of projects that are kind of. There's about probably about 5 projects that from everybody that are kind of in a bit of a race with each other, and I think once one gets written, that one's going to be the one that gets done first. So I'm going to write mine very quickly.
Mine's already written.
Oh, okay, fine. But
It needs rewriting.
Yeah,
So
you got to do mine first because mine's kind of like yours.
it's a bit like
But mine's better. Sorry, it's better. I like it more. Obviously. Anyway, right. It's got Mary Poppins in it. Anyway, right. Good. Done.
I'd arranged it so cast, crew, extras, security, pretty much everybody there was going to float with Scott. They did an amazing job. From Monday, everybody was just flirting with him. And to begin with, I think he just thought, this is a bit odd.
So after kind of like a week of kind of flirting from pretty much everyone on set at some point in time, Paul runs in and says to me, Scott, we need you now.
So Scott comes running out. Thankfully he didn't look behind him because pretty much all the cast and crew were following him up.
Paul's looking frantically for some guy apparently, and he's gone, and I don't know what's going on. I turn round and there's our security guard in some lovely
Look very good. Great
bright
80s.
pink lipstick and blue eyeshadow,
Looked
ready to
good.
give me a big hug and
He
a
looked
kiss.
good.
And that was the point I discovered that Ben had been playing me the whole week and telling everyone to flirt with me.
Fantastic.
I'm going for a lick, man!
Brilliant, man. Brilliant.